Welcome to Jack's on the Pod. I'm Jack John.
I'm Jack Velasquez, and it is conference championship weekend.
One more week.
One more week, and then one more week, and then it's like, technically the Super Bowl. We're here.
We made it.
The end of the road is upon us, and I'm very sad. I'm
I'm
very
sad as well.
sad. I know why like people in the Midwest love football so much. It's because when it's like minus 18 degrees, you're like, oh, thank God, there's something to do, football. And then it leaves you, and then you're just stuck with nothing. You're just stuck with your children.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, seriously. Oh man. But yeah, I'm excited for the I just hope these two games aren't like duds.
I think
So
they'll be
that's
good for different reasons. But yeah, I think they're both going to be good.
okay. Well, I hope the refs help us out and make these games fun. I'm sure they're gonna help out one team more than the other, but you know,
We'll talk about that. But I'm actually thinking the refs are going to go a different way because there's so much internet flack that maybe they're going to go a different way.
I don't think that's how it works.
I mean, I guess, yeah, the payments are made in advance. So,
Yeah. The script has been written.
yeah.
All right. Well, I guess let's just jump into it. Well, I guess I don't want to do that. That's not fair to you. Last week there was four games, and we had two jack off picks. And when it doesn't matter, Jack John steps up. He was 2-0 in the non-official jack off picks. Congratulations.
No, thank you. That was amazing. I felt
Yeah.
so good. I was like, this is what Jack feels like
There you
all
go. There you go.
the time. Well, our first graphic. I truly feel special.
We're so proud of you and
I feel
your
so good.
so you came through on the Chiefs. They covered by half a point. Classic. And then you came through on the Bills. Somehow Mark Andrews knew about this. He's the only viewer, and he knew about the jack off, and he said, "I gotta let my boy win," and he just threw it away.
I don't know, I still think it was more of Lamar just once again not showing up.
Not showing up. I don't know, man. They looked good in the second half. Um, they looked really good.
Where was he the
Uh,
first half?
he was
Fumble,
throwing,
interception.
he was throwing the ball to the other team.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump right in then. First game.
Yeah.
We've got your DMV Washington Commanders on the road against NFC East opponent, the Eagles, and the Eagles are getting 6.5 points.
Um, I like the Commanders to cover but not win. They played, generally towards the end of the season, I think second to last game, Jalen Hurts was out that game pretty quick and Commanders won it, but it's still a close game. Jalen Hurts still looks awful. But I don't know. The Commanders are not my team, and the reason they're not my team is because they this is the type of game they do not win.
Yeah, this. All right, so let me get this straight. The Commanders are not your team because they're in the NFC Championship and they don't win these games. However, your team is the Bears.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. That makes sense. That all makes sense to me. I agree with you. I also am taking the Commanders plus 6.5. Or yeah, plus 6.5. I already bet them earlier when the line opened. I think they're gonna I honestly think they can win this game. Like because you mentioned Hurts is playing awful, and I, I think I've heard on other podcasts that he hasn't thrown for over 150 yards in any of his playoff games. So like I just feel like they're going to need to throw the ball to keep up with the offense of the Commanders. So there's a chance that they're like a potential upset. So I might, when the game starts and they give you those like profit boosts, like live profit boosts, I might just like put a profit boost right on the money line to bump it up from right now it's plus 235. I think if you get like plus 300 on that game, I think that's pretty good value.
I think that's great value. I do think they can win it. I think it's just such a high variance between Jane Daniels throwing three picks and three touchdowns. I feel like both worlds are possible. And even though he's looked great so far, and no one thinks like he could do any wrong, dude's still a rookie. Um, so yeah, that's where I see his little weekend. Look, he's a little different rookie where they throw all those screens. He runs the ball, but the Eagles defense is good, and the Eagles are vicious. Like those fans, they're going to be rabid,
Yeah.
and it's tough, especially against a division rival. Um, I Eagles fans are not to mess with.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think like um I said this last weekend and it didn't apply, but I think maybe this weekend it will. Like, yeah, rookie QB on the road, hostile environment, like fans that are really going to be cheering loud. And like maybe this finally got to his head. Maybe it's going to get to his head a little bit. Like last week it wasn't really there. Like they weren't expected to win, but now everyone's like, oh, they beat the Lions, let's crown him. So like maybe this is where he falls, or when like he turns into a pumpkin, and everything falls off and he doesn't cover at all. Um, Very high probability.
Either way, they still score points, so I think they covered this.
Yeah, and let's see, the over in the game is 47 and a half. So you need 48 to cover. I mean, 28-21 seems pretty reasonable um in this game. 28-24. I don't know. Maybe the
But
maybe
I could say defensive struggle.
well, fine. You know what? I just feel like we're at odds. You just don't like this team. You just don't like them. You don't like America. Oh,
My gut's just telling me that this is the game that little me would be excited for, and this would be the one where I'd be like going to school like, so I guess God hates us, huh? So I guess we're just not one of the lucky ones.
well, it's not. It wasn't from the football game, but yeah. All right, let's just be honest. Let's go to the game of the week, the game
Yeah.
of the year, everything we've been waiting for. I'm gonna be honest. I looked up flights to San Diego for this game. It's not worth eight. This was
Yeah.
not worth $800. But
Even if we
uh,
went big on the Bills. Oh, spoiler.
yeah, yeah. So the Chiefs are at home. They're favored by 1.5 against the Bills. Jack John, you know, you love the Bills. You love Josh Allen. You love that.
I love just that truck of a dude. I love the chance to beat the Chiefs, who I think are a little still overrated. I mean, look, they look good, but you know, I still don't think they've played anyone really, dynamite. The Bills have beat him this year. They've already overcome that hump. Now they just got to do it in prime time, and I think Josh Allen does it.
Yeah. So I just like don't. I hear you, and that's how I felt last year with the Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. The Ravens were at home too, right? I think last year. Yeah, the Ravens were at home too, so that was even bigger upset. I just like they're going into KC. It's not like they're playing at home. They're the Bills and they're going on the road. KC's just I'm just not betting against Mahomes until I'd rather be again on the end of the trend of where I'm like, oh, I've waited too long and he's lost. My bad. As opposed to being like, I'm gonna tail like you don't get any extra credit or extra points for betting against Mahomes.
Yeah,
I'd
but
rather
I don't know. It's weird in this situation that look, the way you attack the Bills is you run, and Casey doesn't really have that great of a run game. Mahomes doesn't run that much. I mean, I'm sure just me watching on third down, he converts a 3rd and 10 because he does that every now and
yeah,
then.
yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I mean, Kelsey's gonna be going, but I really feel the way you attack the Bills is you run on them, and the Chiefs don't do that. And then, look, the Chiefs defense is great, but you're going against a defense killer in Josh Allen. So I think that kind of neutralizes your best advantage right there. So I think this is just a really good matchup for the Bills. It just finally happened. And plus, Mahomes has looked awful all year. I mean, look, he's not awful. He's Patrick Mahomes, but he just hasn't looked like himself.
Maybe he's just not trying. He's just waiting to like try against Josh Allen. You know,
Mhm.
like there could be a chance where they just like kitchen sink the shit out of the Bills, and everyone's like, "Holy shit!" Like the Chiefs literally were just a sleeping giant, and they're like ready to step up for these last two games.
Maybe.
This is one of the most riveting podcasts you'll ever hear. The discourse is alive.
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking KC -1.5. I love them. I actually don't love them. That's not true, but I'm not picking against him at this point of his career. He feels like LeBron in the Eastern Conference, like in the Eastern Conference at his height of his career. Like you're like, I feel like the Bills are like the Raptors, where you're always like, oh, they're gonna beat them. Like they got a good team. They're the one seed. Oh, they're like, the Cavs don't look good this year. LeBron hasn't really been playing, and then they just smash them, or they just like give them a little bit of hope and then they destroy them. I just feel like that's where Mahomes is at. Um, at this stage of his career. But you never know. I mean, this could be like Manning. This could be like the Manning Brady flip where he finally wins one, and Allen goes to the Super Bowl and wins.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, fair points, but fuck the points. I want the money line.
Oh, you're gonna do money line. All right,
I want the money line big time, and that's
big time.
big time.
That's only plus 108.
I understand, but that's all I need. The fact I'm getting any juice on that is unfair.
Uh, all right. So let's think about 2 weeks from now when we're talking about the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Obviously, it sounds like you think it's going to be the Bills versus Eagles, and I think it's going to be KC versus the Eagles. But like, what would be like your most exciting matchup that you would want to watch?
I think Bills versus Eagles would be good, and just like I just said, the Bills do not play the run well. So you've got two all-star, two real, superstars, Saquon Barkley against Josh Allen. You've got a team that's going to want to throw the ball in the Bills, and you've got a team that's going to want to keep the score low and just, play defense in the Eagles. I think that's a fun matchup, and that's the matchup I'm hoping for. I don't want to, if it's the Commanders versus the Chiefs, that's such a lopsided. I think I just don't want to see that game. I don't want to watch the Chiefs just like parade, just start on the field.
Start on the first kickoff.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, actually, I think my favorite, like if I were to pick, um, my favorite matchup to like watch would be Bills Commanders. I think that would be my favorite game because it'd be like two franchises that haven't won, or the Bills have never won, right?
Yeah.
And Washington hasn't come back in a long time, but I think that would be a high scoring game, in that game. And then my least favorite matchup, which I think is going to happen, is going to be KC versus the Eagles, and I just like am not looking forward to that game because those two teams are like going to be like the complete opposite of what they were when they met 2 years ago. And I just feel like it's going to be a boring rock fight game.
Yeah. In that Super Bowl, I was like watching Jalen Hurts and I was like, wow, he is truly incredible. I'm nervous, even though I bet on the Chiefs. I was like, this guy's an MVP.
Oh yeah,
And then ever since then, he's completely fallen off, never looked that great again. That was like his best moment in life. Good for him. But your best moment in life was losing to Patrick Mahomes, which I'm sure a lot of his moments was.
yeah. I mean, like I might be Josh Allen, but like my thing is like I've never. I remember that game and being like, wow, they're dominating the Chiefs. Like the Eagles are going to just blow them out. And then they ended up losing. So that's why I just like can't bet against him. I just like the only person I'm going to bet against him probably against is Joe Burrow. That's the only guy that I like really believe could beat him at any given moment. So that's
I believe that there's a second. I believe that there's a second, and it's Josh
a
Allen.
second coming. You believe there's
Yeah.
a second coming? Wow. To take down the Antichrist. How many questionable calls do you think the Chiefs are going to get? The line is set at 3.5.
Is that an actual line? Because I do believe that.
I just made it
I was like,
up.
I can see that. Uh,
Unfortunately, questionable calls is subjective and can't be
yeah,
done.
yeah. I don't know. You could go by Twitter. How many people on Twitter? I don't know. I haven't put it as. I think 3.5 is a good line. I I want to say over, but I think 3.5 is probably a good line. But I'm hoping that there's already so much internet backlash. Like these refs it's got to be in their head. Like I can't do this.
Yeah, see, that's how I felt too about Trump the second time, but it just doesn't happen. So I'm taking over 3.5 easy. That's like
What
minus
longer
that's
minute?
minus that's minus 145, by the way. The line has been set at minus 145 for the over, and the under is plus 124. So just keep that in mind.
Potentially pretty good lines. I think
Yeah. I should be a bookie.
he
Just
should.
set
I was
lines.
like, man, this guy's got it. He's
uh,
he's wet my whistle. I'm already like thinking like, can I take the under on that?
and then just for fun, I did 5.5 point teas on this game to get minus 110 odds. I got Eagles money line, essentially Eagles at 0.0, and then I got the Chiefs at +4. That's one of my teases for this weekend. I feel like close. I feel like the Eagles are going to win, so that was easy. And then getting some extra juice on the Chiefs and getting that like that that big number of four. You get the three no matter what, and then the four, like a 27-23 or a 24-20 game, you cover that. So that's one of my teases. And then I have that parlay that I told you earlier. Barkley, anytime touchdown, McLaurin, anytime touchdown, and Kelsey, anytime touchdown, plus 675.
That's solid too. All three, but I'm hoping that this is not ugly all around on Sunday. Hopefully it's exciting.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else? Anything? Oh, your Notre Dame bet didn't hit. None of them hit, but
Jack is a savior.
I am on FanDuel. I am the best bookie, and I'm just cashing out people's bets when I feel like it's appropriate. You still made $50 on that game, um, which is pretty incredible.
Right time, right place.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. That concludes. I hope next time when we come back for the Super Bowl, Jack John will be a little bit more enthusiastic, a little bit more discourse. We'll have some more props that he likes or doesn't like. And again, I think we'll have a special guest jump on and give their analysis for the game as well.
Well, that'll be exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Jack John.
Thanks, Jack. Later.